Hello, my name's Kurt Jackson. I'm a retirement income strategist and licensed life and health insurance agent with KJ Financial in Liberty, Missouri. I want to thank you for taking some valuable time out of your busy day to check out what all the hoopla is about our new system that we feel does a phenomenal job of giving you a very accurate picture of what your financial future, more specifically your retirement, will likely look like. Our Retirement Explorer system, it's not a financial planning system. It's a system that analyzes what you're currently doing and using several different variables that we can change to give us different pictures of the future. So we'll have an idea of if what you're doing now will give you the results that you want to have in retirement. Now, unfortunately, but understandably, retirement is not an easy thing to evaluate. It's because there's too many unknowns. I mean, if we just knew when we were going to die, it would make things much easier to plan for. But I've yet to meet anyone that knows when they're going to die or would trade a known date of death for some financial peace of mind. Hey, look, I realize that death isn't a joking matter, but it's a huge part of planning for the future. So please accept my apology for poking a little fun at a topic that none of us really want to talk about, but we all need to talk about. Look, I've long believed that being upfront and transparent with people is the best way to approach things, and that is what the goal in this video is, and why I feel that the Retirement Explorer system that we've developed is so great. It lets us push through all the financial BS that you've been taught your entire life, and lets us get closer and closer to the truth, or at least prepare you for the potential truths that you're going to face in retirement. Fair enough? All right, well, enough about that. Let's take a look at the Retirement Explorer system from 40,000 feet. If you decide you want a more in-depth look, you'll have to get a hold of us and go through the process. But the foundation of the Retirement Explorer system is established by taking an extremely detailed look at your current situation. And the cornerstone of that is having a comprehensively detailed list of all your actual monthly expenditures. Not a rough estimate, okay? But in order to properly plan for retirement, knowing actual expenses is a huge factor, so we need to be as accurate as possible to make this work for you. The process will also get an in-depth look at all your current debts, balances, interest rates, payments, when they're going to be paid off, so we can accurately analyze your cash flow today and your future cash flows. Next up is a quick risk assessment, and that's to gauge where your comfort level is with the amount of risk you have with your retirement money. Then we're going to have an in-depth look at what your income is now and an estimate of what future raises, if any, will be. We have you bring us your most recent investment and asset statements. We're going to analyze how those assets are classified, ask you what types of returns you've actually been getting, and how much you are putting into which assets. We can even add to and subtract from contributions that you're doing or planning on doing. For instance, if when a certain debt that will be paid off, if you plan on putting some or all that money into your plan, we can track that. Right. We'll gather all your current life insurance coverage, whether it's term or permanent, enter that into the system. If you have any long-term care insurance, we can make sure we account for that. We're also going to input any future income we know you'll have in retirement. We even have you go to the Social Security site to get your estimated benefits, so we can calculate what those will likely look like with their cost of living adjustments. If you have a pension, we're going to analyze that and how it's going to fit into your retirement income picture. We're going to get a copy of your most recent tax returns, so we'll know how you're currently claiming everything. See, all this information lets us see where you are currently with your taxes and will allow us to project them to your retirement years. Once we have all this information, now look, I realize it seems like a lot, and I'm not here to sugarcoat it. Remember, I wanted to be upfront about things with you. This is going to require some work from you. Not a ton of work, okay, but some. But by doing that, you're going to find that the more you put into this process, the more you're going to get out of it. And come on now, won't having a much clearer picture of what your retirement will likely look like be of tremendous value to you? So once we have all this information, we're going to enter it into our proprietary retirement analyzer software, which is at the heart of our Retirement Explorer system. Okay? And as we do this, we're also going to enter several different variables designed to help determine what your retirement will likely look like, especially factoring in estimated rates of inflation, so all of your expenses can be adjusted up, because we all know it gets more and more expensive to live each year. Okay, we're going to then get an idea from you when you would like to retire, find out what amount of money you never want to go below in retirement, and examine what percentage of your current expenses you think will still be there when you retire. We're going to put in any future sources of income you may have, take away any expenses that may disappear, for instance, your mortgage payment. Add any future expenses, such as travel, okay? And run an analysis of what your life in retirement will likely look like. I mean, wouldn't you really like to know exactly how your house will impact your retirement? When we do this, the software calculates at what age your red and yellow lines appear. The yellow line is the age in which you go below your never want to drop below this level, and the red line is when you run out of money. Now, we typically find three outcomes, right? One, there are no red or yellow lines, which says that you'll likely never run out of money, okay? The second is the red and yellow lines show up at an age that you're very sure you won't live past. And third, and unfortunately the most common one, the red and yellow lines are at an age that you are either sure you'll live past or aren't comfortable that you won't. If that happens, don't panic, all right? Well, it's not an ideal outcome. At least we've identified it now before it happened, so we can explore options to make that line move to a later age, or better yet, be gone forever. Now, as the software does this, it will also do some other amazing things. One, it's going to tell you what your number is. You know that number you see on the TV ads that's supposed to give you enough money to live the rest of your life? Well, it tells you how much more you'd need now to make it to that number, and it gives you a number you'd need at your ideal retirement age. Pretty good information to know, don't you think? It also tells you another valuable number. Just about everybody wants to make sure that if they were to die prematurely, that they leave enough money behind so their loved ones could live the financial life that they would have had if you were still there. But we're confused about how much money that would take. We hear all kinds of different things on TV, and then another number from what we think are overzealous life insurance agents, so we're confused and don't know who to believe or whom to trust. Okay. While I'm licensed to sell life insurance, and it is part of what I do for my clients, I never want to be seen as that pushy life insurance salesperson. That's another reason I love this Retirement Explorer system. It will tell you exactly, based on the information that we've worked together to determine is accurate, okay, for what you have, then what you think will happen between now and retirement and what will happen in retirement. It's going to tell you exactly the amount of life insurance that you need. And if you're married, it's going to tell you exactly how much your spouse needs to make sure that you protect your family today, right now, and going in the future. And see, that today, right now number is so important because it's likely the highest number you will ever have and when your family is most at risk. I mean, it was yesterday, but you lived through yesterday, okay? Another thing the Retirement Explorer system does is it will tell you, using the numbers we've decided are accurate for your future projections, it will tell you very accurately how much money it could cost you if you were to need specialized care, whether that's in-home care, in an assisted living facility, or in a nursing home. Another of those topics that we don't like to talk about, but definitely need to prepare for. See, if you reach age 65, and an overwhelming majority of us will, if you reach age 65, there's a 70% chance you're going to need some form of specialized care, with the average time of needing care ranging between 2 and 4 years. Unless you have dementia or Alzheimer's, then those stays tend to last up to 8 years or longer. Okay, so the odds are you're going to need it at some point in time, and Medicare does not pay for this type of care. Look, I read a recent statistic that said private insurance currently only pays for about 4% of long-term care costs. So it's either being paid out of pocket or Medicaid is handling it. If you think that you're going to let Medicaid pay for your care, keep in mind that you're going to have to spend down your assets to a ridiculous level before Medicaid will take over. And even if they do, you lose your choice and control over the situation. There's no guarantee you'll be put into a facility close to where you want it, okay? And when you die, the government can come after any remaining assets, including your house, to recoup your costs of care. Plus, here's one you probably haven't heard of. Thanks to what they call filial laws, in some states, not in Missouri yet, okay, but in some states, the government's able to come after your adult children to recoup any costs that your assets didn't cover. Now, with the extreme debt situation the U.S. is already in, could it make sense that more and more states could move towards these filial laws to collect money? Now, there ain't no such thing as a free lunch, right? Would it be better to prepare for this possibility than to leave it to chance? Right? Well, anyway, our Retirement Explorer system is able to give you a very accurate of what the costs of care could be for you. We pick an age, use the state's average costs, and then we adjust them up for inflation to give us a really good look at those potential costs. As you can see, this is a very comprehensive look at your financial now and future. All right, so if that red and yellow line isn't where you want it to be, and there's a good chance it won't be, a recent HSBC study showed the average retirement in the U.S. lasts about 21 years on average, okay? And we're running out of money on average in year 14. That's not good. So if those lines are too early, we first look at 5 red line solutions, ones you've probably heard about. Things like working longer to retire at a later date, work a second job or work in retirement, cut expenses in your lifestyle, increase how much you're putting away, sell an asset. Things that we typically don't get too excited about, but may need to utilize. We look at those first. If you're okay with any of those and are able to do any of those, we will rerun the analysis to see what that does for you. If that doesn't do enough for you, or you don't want to make those adjustments, then there's another way to go. If you decide you don't like those options and you'd like to see if we might be able to have some better solutions, typically solutions you probably have never even heard of, if you decide you'd like our help, then all you have to do is ask. Okay? And if you ask for our help, my team and I will be happy to put together some different options for you to take a look at. The really great thing about this is when we put our solutions into the Retirement Analyzer software, we're able to evaluate those options to see what it's done to your red and yellow line. If you choose to ask for our help, you decide you like our options, you decide to implement the ones you like, then we implement them. Okay? While many of our solutions don't require a lot of maintenance, we will sit down with you annually or more frequently if you experience a lot of changes in your life to update your Retirement Explorer system to make sure the solutions that we've implemented are still going to give you the desired results. And if they aren't, we'll explore new solutions. The bottom line is when you work with us in our Retirement Explorer system, you can achieve peace of mind when it comes to money in your retirement. At the time I made this video, I'm a life and health insurance license. I'm not securities licensed. I did that by design. We can discuss that in more detail if you want to know why. But thanks to the constantly changing regulatory side of the equation, it may require that I do get securities license. Now, the reason I say this is that since I'm not securities licensed, I'm not able to advise you to move money from investments that you may feel are too risky for your liking and want to move them to safer alternatives. Since I'm not able to do that, I can't recommend that you move any money from stocks, bonds, mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, etc. Right? So as we go through the Retirement Explorer system, if you decide you want to move away from risk because maybe you feel you have too much of your retirement portfolio in the market, that's up to you. But I cannot and will not make that recommendation. Moving money from those types of accounts will be your decision. So if you decide you don't like where your red and yellow lines are and would like for us to share solutions, please be aware that the solutions that we use are various safe money options that will never let you lose money due to a market downturn. Some will let you get most, if not all, the gains when the market's up. Some will have guarantees. Some will have amazing tax benefits. Some will provide extra money. If you need to cover long-term care, okay, some will give you guaranteed income for the rest of your life. Some will give you guaranteed income for the rest of your life that grows in hopes of keeping up with inflation. And there's more depending on what you want to do, all right? If you want that, then we'll be happy to help you out. But we will not advise you to move your money. That will be up to you to make that decision. Fair enough? Well, that about sums up what our Retirement Explorer system looks like from 40,000 feet. We do this analysis with no cost and no obligation for you. So once you've gone through the system, if you're happy where your red line is and decide you don't want any help, no problem. If after we share 5 red line solutions, you feel your red line number is out far enough and you decide you don't want our help, no problem. If you ask for our help and you find you don't like our solutions, no problem. But if you do like our solutions, then hopefully by that time you'll want to work with us. And if you do, we'll begin the process of getting them implemented. Once we have all the pieces of the solution implemented, we will present you with all the information and contracts from the carriers that we decided to use and a comprehensive printout of all the things that we are doing and what impact it will likely have on your retirement. Okay? Since we'll be meeting annually or as often as life changes necessitate, that plan could change as we go forward. And if, or more likely when that happens, we will give you a new updated detailed analysis of the new solutions. How's that sound? Now, I'm sure you're wondering how much this is going to cost you because everything has a cost. Well, here's how we work. When someone asks for our help, likes our solutions, and implements those solutions with the carriers we recommend, those carriers pay us. Now, they pay us in different ways, and we'll disclose the ways we get paid by the carriers that we use to implement your solutions. You don't pay us anything out of pocket. We'll also let you know how the carriers paying us impacts the financial vehicles that we're utilizing for your solutions. Does that sound fair? All right. So are you ready to give yourself peace of mind about your financial future? I mean, if you can know what the Retirement Explorer system tells you, won't you either have peace of mind because you know everything looks good or because you have a new plan in place to make sure you're on track to achieve your goals for retirement? Look, honestly, I can't imagine anyone not wanting to know this information, even if you have a clearly defined plan with another advisor. I mean, wouldn't you want to know if that plan really stacks up to the coming rigors of your financial life? So what you got to do, all right, you have nothing to lose. Pick up the phone, call me or email me. The information's on the screen there, and request to go through our Retirement Explorer system because you want peace of mind about your financial future. Don't you have a lot more to lose if you don't? Look, Thanks for joining us. I hope you decide to give me a shout so we can see where you are. And if you found value in this information, please do me a favor and share the link with anyone you think might also find value in this information. Have a great day and best wishes on your retirement.